I was born during the war between Iran and Iraq in Tehran. The first 6 years of my upbringing is witnessing terror, horror, bombard attacks, and conflict. I started to ask this question very early in life. Who am I? Why did I land here on this planet in the middle of the conflict? What is my purpose here? 14 years old, I was reading Nietzsche, the German philosopher, also sprach Zarathustra, and so said Zoroaster. And the book begins with, "Then God is dead," something that resonated profoundly with me. A God that was drawn in the religion in Islam was completely different than the picture I had from the God in my heart. So I could resonate with that teachings of Nietzsche and followed the path of nihilism. Then the God is dead. 18 years old, spontaneous trip to Konya, southern Turkey, where the tomb of Rumi is, changed my ideology completely. When I read this sentence, yesterday I was clever and I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise and I'm changing myself. Something profoundly resonated with me. In that trip, I have felt miracles and experienced something beyond this physical reality. I moved to Germany to study deeper German philosophy and started very early my business career. I came to Marbella in the southern Spain when I was 23 years old. And just for vacation, one day I was laying down under the sun, having the Rumi poems in my hand. And that moment, the inspiration came to my heart. And the bold thought that I need to live in Marbella and I need to change my career. I had a successful career back in Germany, but when I was here, when I came to Marbella, I knew that I am not enough connected with myself having such a busy lifestyle. I took that bold decision 6 months after I moved to Marbella, and soon after I started my own company and became an entrepreneur ever since. Some months after, I met Salvador, not only a business partner, but also a father figure. Salvador helped me to expand my business in Spain. Some years into business together, one day he came to the office with this devastating news that cancer developed all over his body, and they gave him 3 months to live. I couldn't simply accept the heaviness of this news on my chest. I couldn't accept that I'm losing him, a best friend, a father, my business partner. So I began to dive deep into the truth behind cancer and how our human body functions. I watched tons of interviews of people who healed their stage 4 cancer naturally and read lots of books. The book of Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, transformed my mindset completely about the effect of our thought and emotion on our health. She shared in this book her own journey, how she healed her own cancer without conventional treatments. After reading so many books and watching so many interviews, I developed a protocol and I shared it with Salvador. He had nothing to lose, so he applied the protocol. 3 months after, he was surprisingly more energetic than before, and 6 months after, he was cancer-free. This ignited the fire in me to share this message with as many as possible, but my entrepreneurial lifestyle didn't allow me enough time and space to dedicate myself fully to this path until my next wake-up call. My mother, my best friend, my soulmate was in a coma. A 60-year-old woman who climbed highest mountain in the world. And she was my role model of strength and unconditional love. I couldn't believe my ears when I got this phone call, and I got myself to her bed, applied quantum healing modality that I was using for years, and luckily she came out of the coma. I started to share my success stories of treating patients with cancer and so-called incurable disease with my family and begged them to not put my mother on the aggressive treatments. They didn't believe in me. Of course, I don't blame them. They wanted the best for my mother, but they were into the reality of conventional medicine. That was a complete different reality of looking into the root cause of the disease and doing only symptom therapy. I was devastated and I couldn't get through as if like I'm talking to the wall. And this was the start of my journey to switch my industry completely, open Infinite Love Coaching Academy and Holistic Health to transform the mindset on this planet about who we are, how our body functions, and how we are able to heal ourselves. My mom underwent 6 brain surgery, 2 months of radiotherapy, and unfortunately, a year and a half after, she wasn't between us anymore. After receiving this news, I was paralyzed 5 days at hospital. They couldn't find anything in my body. Of course, this is emotional shock and is a trauma, and the conventional medicine doesn't have any answer for that. That's where my self-healing journey started, and I started to use different modalities that were already existing and eventually come to my own healing modality, Shimana Quantum Code.